In our presentation, we're going to be showing how one earthquake, one volcano, and one mountain range can show continental drift, seafloor spreading, and plate tectonics. Appalachian Mountains spread from Newfoundland in Canada to Alabama in the United States, covering 14 states. The North American and African plates collided to form the Appalachian Mountain Range. About 470 million years ago, these two continents began to move towards each other, causing a continental versus continental convergence. As they began to collide, sediment accumulated underwater. Volcanoes were also erupting at this time in present-day Virginia, the Carolinas, and Georgia, which aren't active anymore because the continents have moved to their present-day locations. About 270 million years ago, the huge masses of sediment, volcanic arcs, and continental crust were all mashed together to cause deformation and uplift along the margin of North America and piled up to form the Appalachian Mountains. It goes from Newfoundland in Canada to Alabama in the U.S. In the mountain range, there is Mount Mitchell, which is the highest mountain on the eastern coast at 6,684 feet. It is the oldest chain of mountains in North America, has very rich deposits of coal, iron, petroleum, and natural gas, and it is approximately 2 million steps long. Mount St. Helens is located between Seattle and Portland, in the western part of the Cascade Mountain Range. There's a convergent plate boundary between the Pacific Plate, the North American Plate, and the tiny Juan de Fuchsia Plate in an area known as the Triple Plate Junction. The volcano is 8,363 feet tall. Its oldest historic eruption was in 1831. Its most recent eruption was in 2008. In 1980, the reawakening of the volcano happened after 23 years because of an earthquake. The lava dome is 920 feet high. Mount St. Helens is both a constructive and destructive force. It is destructive because it can ruin buildings, knock down trees, mess with nature, and cause earthquakes. It is constructive because it can form new land and make mountains. More than $1 billion in property and economic losses were caused by the 1980 eruption. There was also a loss of 57 lives and multiple injuries. Many crops were destroyed, and 900,000 tons of ash were removed from highways and airports of Washington state. Tourism also went down because of all of this.
People are doing everything that they can, but all they really can do is make sure that they have an emergency supply of food or water. Right now that they're just trying to keep out the watch, but if another one did come, it would just wipe out everything more and slow down the rebuilding.
On the western side of Japan is where the earthquake mainly hit. There was an oceanic continental convergent plate boundary, which occurred due to compressional stress. The earthquake occurred as a result of the thrust plate faulting on or near the subduction zone interference plate boundaries between the Pacific and Northern American plates. This caused the Pacific plate to smash into the Japanese island arc 8.9 centimeters per year. It aroused 6 other earthquakes later in the day. It killed at least 12,690 people. It aroused a tsunami, had an 8.9 magnitude. 2 million people were without electricity or running water. Entire towns were wiped off the map. Roads buckled and highways collapsed. Earthquakes are usually thought of as destructive because they destroy homes, buildings, roads, and cities, but to Earth it can be constructive. Japan is located on one of the most active seismic and volcanic zones in the world. They are frequently affected by earthquakes and disasters. In the future, they are going to take action and rebuild fire-prone buildings with stone and steel, earthquake-resistant building structures, and they're going to build down rather than up. In Japan's current condition, another earthquake would just put them into more devastation and financial binds. However, once rebuilt, again, the preparation and safety put into making buildings, stores, schools, etc. will be even more advanced than they last were. So they will be in a good condition to take a hit of another possible earthquake.